Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Tombstone Tourist. This week, I'm in the village of North Bend, Ohio, where I'm going to be visiting the final resting place of William Henry Harrison, who served briefly as the 9th President of the United States. The village of North Bend is located just west of Cincinnati and is only a couple miles from the Indiana state line. It was founded in 1789 and took its name from a bend in the Ohio River, which flows just to the south and forms the boundary between Ohio and Kentucky. The village is home to less than 1,000 full-time residents and covers just a little over a square mile. The tiny village was home to 2 United States presidents, William Henry Harrison, who moved here after being born in Virginia, and his grandson, Benjamin Harrison, was born here and served as our 23rd president. From the small parking area, it's just a short walk down to the memorial tomb. Along the way, there's some storyboards that tell you about the Harrison family and their time here in North Bend. These storyboards highlight the life of both William Henry Harrison and his grandson Benjamin, who was born less than a half a mile from the site at the corner of Sims and Washington Avenue. The only thing at that location is an Ohio historical marker. The final resting place of our 9th president is located here on Mount Nebo, overlooking U.S. Highway 50 and the Ohio River. William Henry Harrison was born on February the 9th, 1773, in Charles City County, Virginia. He is one of 8 presidents born in Virginia, and his father was Benjamin Harrison V, who served as governor of Virginia from 1781 until 1784. Benjamin V was also a signer of the Declaration of Independence. In 1794, the future president participated in the Battle of Fallen Timbers, which essentially ended the Northwest Indian War. This led to his appointment as Secretary of the Northwest Territory in 1798. That appointment essentially launched his political career. By 1801, he was governor of the newly established Indiana Territory. And as governor, he managed to negotiate several treaties with the Indians, which expanded the United States by several million acres. In 1811, he led a military force against Tecumseh, a Shawnee warrior who violently opposed the expansion of the United States into Indian lands. He faced off against Tecumseh at the Battle of Tippecanoe. It was during this battle that he would earn his nickname, Old Tippecanoe. He also participated in the War of 1812, which further enhanced his popularity. In 1816, he was elected to the United States House of Representatives, and in 1825, he was elected to the United States Senate, where he served until 1828. In 1829, he briefly served as Minister to Columbia. Afterwards, he returned to his farm here in North Bend, where he involved himself in local politics and for the most part lived quietly until 1836. It was then that he sought the Whig Party's presidential nomination. He lost that race to Martin Van Buren. Undeterred by his defeat, he ran for president again. This time he secured the nomination and ran with vice presidential nominee John Tyler, who just happened to be from Virginia. Their campaign slogan, Tippecanoe and Tyler too, proved to be popular, and Harrison was elected by a landslide, amassing 234 electoral votes. Inauguration Day was set for March 4th, 1841, which turned out to be a very cold and wet day in Washington. President Harrison refused to wear an overcoat or hat as he took the oath of office, and then he launched into an 8,000-word inaugural address, which took him the better part of 2 hours to deliver. Then several times over the next couple of weeks, the new president was seen walking around Washington in the rain. He often refused to change out of his wet clothes before resuming his hectic schedule at the White House. On March 24, 1841, President Harrison fell ill and over the next several days was treated by doctors while he attempted to maintain his schedule. Over the period of several days, his health declined, and by April 1st, the situation looked grave. President William Henry Harrison died at 12:30 a.m. on April 4th, 1841, exactly 1 month after taking the oath of office. He was the first president to die in office, and John Tyler became the first vice president to ascend to the presidency when he took the oath of office on the morning of April 6, 1841. After a 30-day mourning period, President Harrison began his journey back here to North Bend. The president's coffin was transported by black draped barges down the Ohio River and arrived here in North Bend in early July 1841. The family chose a site on the family estate overlooking the Ohio River for the president's final resting place. On July 7, 1841, President William Henry Harrison was interred in the family vault. Today, the tomb has 24 vaults holding the remains of President Harrison and his wife Anna, their son John Scott Harrison, who was the father of President Benjamin Harrison, along with several other members of the Harrison family. This is the vault that holds the remains of President Harrison and his wife Anna. The vault with the white stone next to the presidential vault holds the remains of their son, John Scott Harrison. In 1871, the president's son, John Scott Harrison, sold the family estate with the exception of 6 acres around the tomb. He then donated the site to the state of Ohio with the condition that the state would maintain and properly preserve the site. Despite the state's pledge to maintain and preserve the site, it fell into a sad state of disrepair and was basically an eyesore until 1919, when the Ohio legislature finally approved the necessary funds to restore the site and erect a 60-foot tall monument that we see today above the tomb. Today, the site is managed by the Harrison Sims Memorial Foundation, and it was listed on the National Register of Historic Places in 1970. While the site is available year-round, the tomb itself is only open on a seasonal basis. During my visit, there were several locals out walking along the trail around the site. But as far as I could tell, I was the only tourist. I wondered how many people actually visit this site during the year, and as I was leaving, I encountered one of these locals and asked him that very question. He told me he didn't know for sure, but he would estimate that it was probably less than 20,000 people a year. Well, this is where I'm going to end this video. I hope you've enjoyed my visit to the final resting place of President William Henry Harrison here in the tiny village of North Bend, Ohio. Have any of you ever visited this site? If you have, please leave me a comment and let me know what you thought. If this is your first time here, welcome, and I hope you consider sticking around. I upload a new tombstone video every Sunday morning, so if you enjoy this type of content, be sure to ring that bell and subscribe, and a thumbs up is always appreciated. So, until next time, please remember, life is a wonderful journey. Be sure to take time and enjoy it. And I'll see you down the road. So long, everyone.